Well, to talk about this latest episode, we're now reaching out to Dwight Duncan. From 1995 to 2013, he represented Windsor and surrounding areas in the Ontario legislature. And for 7 years of that time, he served as Ontario's finance minister. Dwight Duncan, good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
Good to be with you, Michael.
Listen, you were speaking to my producer, and you said to him that this doesn't surprise you. It doesn't surprise you that Donald Trump has done this. What leads you to say that?
When he started on the tariff thing a year ago, I knew that the bridge completion, I was chair of the WDBA for 6 years. I knew that the bridge's completion was going to happen right about the time the CUMSA negotiations started. And he does this on everything. And, he brings a sleazy New York developer approach to negotiations, which makes it incredibly difficult to deal with. But I have a feeling this is going to work out to be another taco. Of course, Trump always chickens out. I think Canadians should do exactly what the Prime Minister is advising. We're now into a complex negotiation on a range of issues, albeit with a very irregular negotiating partner. I have great confidence in the Prime Minister and his team to get the best possible resolution of all these things that's available. Mm-hmm. My hope is that we will come through this. A number of people far more involved than I have warned us over the last little while. There are going to be lots of things like this.
Well, we have
to get used to it.
Yeah, let me pick up on that point, because I was going to ask you, how much of this did you think was a negotiating tactic? Because we've seen Donald Trump use hyperbole, use chaos to throw off parties with whom he is negotiating. How much of this is about the bridge, do you think? How much of this is about CUSMA and other trade issues?
If I could read his mind, I'd be a very wealthy man. I don't know. What I know is it's dumb, it's unnecessary, but it's to paraphrase the Prime Minister, we have to deal in the world we find, not the world we imagine. And it's reality for us as Canadians. I think what's important now for us, and I say us, I mean Canadians, is unity. We're all in this together. There have been 5 presidents of the United States involved in this project, 5 prime ministers of Canada. I can tell you every one of those presidents and prime ministers, including the first Donald Trump, moved the goalpost forward on this file. We're active supporters of this, seeing it as in the best interest of both countries. Putting aside partisan differences, Prime Minister Harper moved the yardsticks probably as much, if not more, than his Liberal counterparts, given the timing of his administration. Prime Minister Trudeau's government had the opportunity to begin let the contract begin construction, see construction almost through to the end. But that was built upon 15 or 16 years of hard work before that. This project will come to pass. This is another bump in the road. I have great confidence in the Prime Minister and his team. The other point I'd like to make is Minister LeBlanc, Dominic LeBlanc, had responsibility for this project prior to his current roles. And by all accounts, he knew his file. He was highly involved in it. He's quite familiar with this, with its benefits to the United States. I remember in the first Trump administration, one of our biggest allies was Vice President Pence. He was a former governor of Indiana, and the impacts on this bridge to Indiana, its manufacturing sector, its agricultural sector, were huge. And so he was a big proponent, as was Betsy DeVos, who at the time was Trump's Secretary of Education. Mm-hmm. Both of them, of course, no longer support Trump. but there's nothing we can do about that either.
Can I jump in there? Can I jump in there? Because as you say, this project has been years in the making, even before it was announced back in what, 2014?
25 years since the first formal study began.
Okay, so 25 years, and here you have Donald Trump now painting a picture as if Canada were the only country that would benefit from this bridge. But clearly Americans have, in the past at least, touted, the prosperity this can create for them too. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, all the stuff in Trump's tweet and what I've heard from a number of his administration officials is bullshit. The U.S. side of the bridge is owned by the state of Michigan. Canada did not pay for the bridge. Canada has financed the bridge. That means we financed Michigan's portion in order to get the project underway. There's an ironclad agreement that Canada will be paid back from the tariffs, from the tolls that will be collected. Michigan won't get its share until the full price tag is paid off. So, one of the big concerns I advised the government of the day on when I was chair of the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority was just how much of the money used to begin construction, do construction, purchasing that was being spent in the United States versus Canada. I don't have the up-to-date figures, but, to suggest that American companies haven't benefited from this and that somehow Canadian companies got all the work, I apologize, you'll have to beat me again. It's just bullshit. Mm-hmm. And, that's what makes dealing with them so difficult. And it's unnecessary. In my view, I think the Prime Minister got it right this morning, and I have great faith in his ability to deal with this. He's doing, in my view, a very good job. And by the way, I'll also give Doug Ford some credit too. I mean, the Premier tends to wear his heart on his sleeve more than the Prime Minister does, but he's giving expression to the anxiety that's being felt right across Ontario, particularly in southwestern Ontario. And people are worried about their livelihoods, about their jobs. And, from time to time, he has to pull back a little bit, but good for him. He's giving voice to people and to their fears.
Very quickly.
And cooperating with the Prime Minister and working well with the Government of Canada.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I've only got 30 seconds here, Mr. Duncan, but very quickly, what's your advice to Canadians? Because we keep getting these types of messages from the U.S. president. What's your advice to Canadians?
We just have to, my advice is to follow the Prime Minister's lead. Number one, we need to be united. We can't be taking pot shots at one another. This is a threat, no question. Number two, we will get through this. And I have a feeling we're going to be stronger when we get out of it. It's not going to be easy. There are going to be a lot of ups and downs. Today's a down. I mean, and the anxiety, the unnecessary anxiety. So gird your loins, folks. We've got a lot of challenges ahead of us. This is not easy on anyone. And I think, however, we will be in a better place once we're through this, having learned a whole lot of lessons.
Dwight Duncan, always appreciate the time. Thank you for that.
Nice chatting with you, Michael. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.